Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to see what is the tip of the day. What is the hot tip of the day for twin flames? Let's see what we got here. What is the hot tip of the day, everyone? Hot tip, everyone. Extra, extra. What's the hot tip of the day? Okay, we're just going to do one more shuffle and then we'll see what is the hot tip of the day. Okay, these just don't shuffle. These cards don't shuffle at all. But you know what? They're shuffled enough. So let's go ahead and cut the deck. All right. What is it? Interesting. Your divine masculine wants you to know they're working hard on themselves for this connection. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Which I know to be true. Now, you can read this one or two ways, right? So the hot tip is your divine masculine wants you to know they're working hard on themselves for this connection. Now, you could read this as two ways. You could read this as your own divine masculine or in the physical, your divine masculine, right? So if you're in separation and you have a twin flame that you consider your divine masculine part of your soul, that might be a reflection of your own divine masculine, right? So your own divine so we are all made up of, if you look at the yin and the yang. So you look at the yin and yang symbol where you have the dark, which is the divine feminine, and the light, which is the divine masculine, and then each have a dot of each, right? And so you really want that to be balanced. Now, when your own divine masculine part of you is out of balance, that gets reflected back to you by your divine masculine. Okay. Now, if your divine feminine is out of balance, that also gets reflected back to you in some way. It could still be your twin flame, right? Because it's not gender-based, or it could be someone else. It could be your daughter, or it could be your mother. It just gets reflected back to your own imbalance in your own divine feminine or your own divine masculine energies. So what does that mean, Mary Beth? What the heck are you talking about? Well, I have this handy-dandy chart here, and before I kind of briefly get into it, your divine masculine, your twin flame, again, is a reflection of your inner wounds. If your divine masculine is out of balance, they will reflect that back to you and be extremely shadowy. Their personality will be very shadowy and kind of dark, right? And kind of unstable, kind of like when you're with them, you kind of feel like a low vibration, right? And really, that's because they have no choice but to reflect back to you your own wounds, which is the particular timeline that you're on. I mean, so they have their own timeline, though. It may not necessarily be consciously them. I know that sounds weird, but it is. We are multidimensional. So now, in what way could you possibly be out of balance in your divine masculine traits? Well, to be balanced in your divine masculine traits, I was going to say the focus, that's one of them. The goal is to be focused, committed, methodical, and have direction. To be balanced in your divine masculine. So what does that mean? When you're focused, that means that you're focused on some goals, okay? So once you achieve a goal, it's time to work on a new one to balance out your divine masculine. And then to follow through with your commitment, be methodical in your plans, have a direction, okay? When you're doing that, you're being balanced. So what happens if you're out of balance in your own divine masculine? Chances are your twin flame or someone else will reflect back to you either being fearful, withdrawn, unaware, lost. Sound familiar? Could be also controlling, distant, anxious, and forcing. Okay. And it's probably because one of those things are out of balance. And you can ask your soul. I would always say, in what percentage am I there? Like, am I at least 10% balance? That's what I always say. Okay, and that is your divine masculine in your upper chakra, and your upper chakras, to balance those out. Now, with your lower chakras, which is below the heart chakra, this is your earthly masculine, divine masculine. To be balanced in them, to be balanced, you need to be forward going, organizing, assertive, giving, and having valor. And so with these, again, because the divine masculine is the doer, whereas the divine feminine is more about being still. The divine masculine is the light, and the divine masculine is the striving, it's the action, it's the creation, it's the manifestation. Where the divine feminine is more the being, the allowing, the surrendering, the creativity. You got to have both. You can't just be one. You can't just be the divine feminine. You can't just be, it's the yin and the yang. You got to balance both the yin and the yang inside of you. It's all about balance inside of each person to be whole. You're never just the divine feminine. You're never just the divine masculine. All other people do is they reflect back to you what's out of balance in yourself. Oh, which reminds me, when someone yells at me, I really need to look at this chart and see where I'm out of balance here. Okay, so when it comes to divine masculine, make sure that you're being more forward going, where you're not stuck, right? Because what's going to happen, right? So what's going to be out of balance? Stuck, stagnant, sleepy, hopeless, right? You also got to make sure that you're organized, you're assertive, you're giving to others, and you have valor, right? So what's the imbalance? And that would be the rigid ideas of being a bit protective, and like putting your wall up, fighting, being aggressive. If that's being mirrored back to you by your twin flame, that tells you that you have a little bit of imbalance there, where perhaps you're not as forward going, organized, assertive, giving, and valor. I don't know if I'm saying that right. If I'm pronouncing valor for others, right? So it's, again, you can look at it as your divine masculine in the physical, where he's saying or she's saying, hey, I'm working on myself for our connection. I'm working really, really hard. And that is most likely true. But also knowing that the divine masculine inside of you is saying, hey, come on now, we need to work on this. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you. My twin flame came after 3 years of being gone. 3. He didn't come back until I did this, until I balanced out my divine feminine and my divine masculine energies. And that was a lot of work. Obviously, it took me 3 years thinking I was very balanced. And then I really figured out, I had to really define everything and say, well, am I balanced in this? And what does it mean to be balanced? And am I balanced in all areas of life, or just one area in life? I got to look at all the areas of my life and see where I'm balanced and where I'm not balanced. And so, and it wasn't until I really, really, and literally I had to be at a certain percentage before I mastered it. And it doesn't, I'm not saying it still doesn't go up and down, because of course a new challenge is, I promise you, once you successfully achieve one challenge, they just give you another. So take your time. Just another challenge comes along. They just expand you even more. They're like, oh, you made that challenge. Okay, here's another one. Yes. So anyway, I hope that's helpful, and again, I do coaching on this if you need help on that. But anyway, so basically that's the hot tip of the day. Always knowing that your twin flame is actually working hard on themselves, because on the different timelines that you're on, you're not going to see that you will be separated from the timelines. You won't be able to see how hard they're working unless you're very psychic and you can kind of see the timeline that they're on, which some of you probably can. I don't necessarily have that psychic ability, but I kind of do, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily see it, but I know it, and I see it in the cards, and then what I do is I verify it with someone who can see it, and then I say, am I knowing something correctly or not? Anyway, so that's all I have for my hot tip of the day today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.